Hey guys, Ron here, back for another one. I don't normally open with the intro, but today I'm going to because I don't want this information to get missed. This is my 1966 Chevy long box, which is now a short box. This entire project took about 5 hours. I used the CPP shortening kit as opposed to the Brothers. And I know there's a few other ones out there. The big one is Brothers. I didn't use it. It's very expensive to get up here in Canada and hard to get your hands on, to be honest. So I used CPP kit, and there is some issues with it. One of the issues is the location for the cab mount. So the kit's pretty simple. You're gonna lop 12 inches out from under the cab. You're gonna lop another 8 inches out of the back for a total of 20 inches. You'll knock off your front bed mount and you'll relocate that cab mount. Super simple. And the kit even gives you a template so you don't have to use a tape measure. Therein lies your problem. When we get to the part of the video where we pull this out and we start making holes for that thing, pay close attention, because on this truck anyway, I can't say for every truck, but on this truck we had some major issues. So yeah, with that being said, the installation went pretty simple. Pretty happy with it. My buddy Jeff pops by and helps out, and between the two of us we got her done in about 5 hours. Enough of me running my mouth. Let's get into the video. Hey, Ron here, I'm back for another one.
With Jeff.
Got my buddy Jeff with me this time. We're going to chop this truck down to a short bed. Last video we took the bed off. This video we're going to get into actually doing what needs to be done to make it a short bed. Things we're going to do first is we're going to remove the drive shaft. So we got 4 bolts here, 2 bolts there, and that'll pop out. We're going to cut this exhaust down. Probably find ourselves a straight part, cut it there, and just make it so it's not a problem. We'll get that wiring out of the way. We got to do something with this brake cable. I don't think it's factory. And then also this brake line. We'll have to do something with this brake line as well. So we'll just probably undo it here, plug these in so it's not throwing brake fluid everywhere. And then what I'll do is I'll come back and we'll take a look at removing this bedside mount and also this cab mount. But the first thing we'll do is we'll get all that stuff ripped off. Right, Jeff?
Yeah.
All right. We'll do that, and then we'll come back and we'll take a look at the kit we're going to use. Okay, so we got this, the brake line out, we got the wiring out, we got the drive shaft out, and we got the exhaust cut down. We also went in and we removed the fuel line that comes up and runs along the side of the frame. So I think at this point we're going to move on to removing this guy. This is the front bed mount, and then also this guy, which is the cab mount. So there's a bolt under here. Is there a bolt here?
It's pretty rotten.
Yeah, so there's a bolt here we got to remove. And then we want to remove these rivets. I know some guys use an air hammer or an air chisel. I've never had much luck with that because I don't really have high-end tools for that kind of stuff. I just don't do a lot of it at home. So I think I'll end up using a zip disc. I'm going to cut these heads off and then just punch them out. Jeff's going to tackle that side, and he's going to use...
I'm going to try a Sawzall and see how that works.
He's going to try a Sawzall, and I'm going to try a zip disc. So let's get after it. is one of the things I wanted to see. I know when you watch a video from the manufacturer, they make it look like this almost does itself. But what we're finding is these rivets are a pain in the neck. I ended up taking a zip disc and cut mine off. Jeff had better luck with the Sawzall on that side. Neither one of us had any luck with the Sawzall on the mounts, and the bolts coming through the cab mounts. Both sides broke. Neither one of them would just, yeah, it's pretty rotten. I haven't seen a video at all where people are having the challenges we're having. But we got these heads all cut off now. We're probably just going to get in here with a chisel and a hammer, break that free. And then when we come back, we'll go ahead and we'll put this bracket on. We'll take a look at the kit. We'll put the bracket on and show you how all of that lines up. Hopefully that goes smoother than this does. Okay, so this is what my mounts look like once they're taken off. You can see we had to cut them off. And got under there with the grinder and just ground those rivets smooth. If you have better luck than me and Jeff with using an air hammer and popping them out, hey, more power to you. I don't. Jeff doesn't, so we just decided to grind them off. I'm gonna have to do a repair on this guy, but I don't think I'm gonna let that slow down my progress here. I think it's time to break out the kit, and we'll go over that next. Oh, how'd your mount come out, Jeff? Basically same thing. It's all wore out. We'll have to get some material and do a repair. That's all there is to it. Get in the box. You get 2 of these guys, 2 of those guys, and a bag of nuts and bolts. What about the instructions, you say? No, you got to go download those online and print them out. But I guess that's where we're at these days. This side's going to be the driver's side. This side's going to be the passenger side. And these guys here, they're going to be the inner braces. This is our outer, that's our inner. We're going to go ahead, we'll get this on there and we'll start making some cuts. So we're going to start with the back. Jeff's going to show us how we're going to drill our bumper bolt holes. So this side, oh,
Is that the right one? This one, right?
this one and that one, yeah. So, like I was telling Jeff earlier, if you start out slow with these bits, they have a tendency to grab better, right, Jeff?
Oh, I wonder where you learned that from.
That's Jeff's tool tip of the day. Start out slow and they'll grab a lot better. So these 2 are the bumper bolts. And this one up here is going to be where we mount our bed. So that's where we were mounting it. That's our new mount hole. So we also got to mark this one here and this one here. We'll mark those and we'll cut that off here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and mark those now, and we'll lop that off, and it just gives us a little more room in the garage. You can see we don't have a lot of room to begin with, so when we lop that off, it'll help out immensely. Okay, just use a Sawzall to lop that off. In case you're keeping track, we've cut off, what do we cut off there? 4 rivets, and both of these were still on the first saw blade. And I'd say it's still pretty good shape, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a carbide cutter blade.
It is a carbide cutter blade. I would go to Home Depot, Rona, wherever, Granger, get some good blades before you start this project. Because, you know, your Canadian Tire, Harbor Freight blades, I don't know if they're good for this. They might be good for cutting, you know, lesser, but this is pretty strong stuff. So anyway, we have our bed mounting bolt there, and then we have our 2 bumper bolts pre-drilled there with 1/8 drill bits. Go ahead and yeah, so this is what it was. We marked that guy out.
You mark that,
And
then we just
screw that on.
put a scribe.
Put a scribe, scribe mark here, boom, away she came. And then we have 2 that we drilled out here. This guy and this guy. So we'll go ahead and we'll drill those out to 3/8, I believe, after. But now it's the fun part. We're gonna move on to that guy. So let's get started. Oh, one tip actually Jeff brought up was pretty good. When you're throwing these on here, throw a couple clamps on. It just kind of helps keep it where it needs to be.
Because the other side was bent.
Yeah, this side of the frame had a little bend in it, right up here somewhere, and it really made using that piece difficult, almost non-usable, to be honest, because it placed everything in the wrong spot. So we put that on there and had to do some hammering and smacking around. But we're good now, right?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get at the meat and potatoes of it right here. So, okay, so I got this on here. You can see the side with 4 bolt holes. That's going to go to your front. The rear only has these 2 here. So the 4 go to the front, and then these 2 5/16 bolts, they'll help line you up. My kit was missing them, but I happen to have some kicking around, so put these in. Those will help line you up. On Jeff's side, he actually had to cut the rivets off for that exhaust hanger. It was in the way. When I was reading the instructions, they say some have it, some don't. Lucky me, mine happened to have it. So that's where we're at now. We got this on. I got these 2 here. It's snug. It's not going anywhere. I'm going to grab a drill and start drilling these 4, and then I'll grab the Sawzall and we'll rip it here. But first we'll have to get this up on some jack stands. But for right now, I'm gonna go ahead. I got these bolted. I'm gonna drill some holes. And before I cut, we'll get some jack stands over here. A video here. Okay, so we got this underneath here, and both of us feel like there's not a lot of room up here for this Sawzall to get at. So what we did is we bumped up the back of the cab, and we just want to nip this. We want to cut across the top of it and then down just a hair, maybe an inch. And same on that side, and then we'll drop the cab and we'll continue with the cuts. Otherwise, we can't get the Sawzall in there. If we raise the cab up, we're putting pressure on the frame, and we'll pull that up. We don't want that. So we're just going to cut down about an inch on each side, and then we'll drop the cab. You can see we're lifting up on the cab to get our Sawzall in at the top. Nobody tells you this. So anyway, Jeff's about to start over there. I'll go and record.
So just follow down.
You got it, Pontiac. Okay, so now we got our top nipped. Jeff's gonna get in there and cut the rest of her.
Not square. Why is that?
Oh no. Oh, Jack. Oh, wow. All right, so now we need to make these bolt holes, and then we got to figure out where our cab mount goes. So we may as well get after that. Right now, you ready?
Sure.
All right, here we go. I want to get this on video. So this is our 63 to 66 hole up here. So this guy is supposed to line up there and then drill a pilot hole here. So put the bolt through there, drill a pilot hole here. Here's my issue. If I do that, I end up being, so there I am at the pilot hole, I end up being at about 11 and a quarter. I need to be 12 inches. I just cut 12 inches out of this. So common sense says if you just cut 12 inches out, this here needs to move back 12 inches. That's all there is to it. It's got to go back 12 inches. If I move it back 11 inches, it ain't going to fit. So, got a bit of a problem here, or at least I think I do. So I'm going to mount this where I think it needs to go, and then we'll see how she sits when we put her back in. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it. Okay, let me show you what we're doing here. So we're using the template to give us our height, but we're using a tape measure to verify our holes. So this is our front hole. We had 4 holes here. So I'm going from the middle of the front hole, and I want to go back 12 inches. This thing says that it'll line us up, but you can see that's not lining us up with that hole. So while it's nice to have the template, you gotta verify everything. So I'm measuring back 12 inches from here to there. This does not line up, but that's what we're gonna do. And that'll be for our height for here. Then what we'll do is we'll take our mount, we'll put it on there, and we'll level it to the frame, put our other 3 holes in, and then we're gonna roll this thing under after we get this bracket in here. Okay, so that's that pilot hole. So I'm gonna stick this guy in here. I'm just gonna get one bolt on here just so I can hang. And then what I want to do is I want to level it. Now you can eyeball it if you're really good. You can grab a level and actually level it. There we go, that looks pretty good. I think I'll tighten that up and throw in another couple pilot holes. Don't mind if I do. Regular man would have twisted his wrist right off, but right, Jeff?
Yeah, that's why you work out, isn't it?
That's why I work out. So I'm in the house doing some editing when I realize I'm missing some footage. So unfortunately, I'm going to jump in here and just kind of tell you what happened. We're putting this in, and it's not as difficult as one might fear. Like I wasn't too sure what to expect from this portion, and it really wasn't too bad. There's a little bit of messing around, but we got it. We were able to just slide it right in. We had to jack this up and line it up. It's definitely better to have 2 people, but it went pretty good. And when we're done, you can see we got a pretty good gap here. If anything, it's a little tight here. I might get in there and gap that out. What's important, they say, is that you don't try and hog anything out. They say if you don't hog it out, you will be in the right place every time. So that's what we did. We didn't hog anything out. What I did do is put an extra 2 bolts in this kit though. I know the Brothers kit comes with 4 on each side. This one comes with 6. I went with 8. I had the hardware, why not? And then we moved this back 12 inches. I did find a problem on the kit. This obviously needs to be located 12 inches back from where it was. You're gonna cut 12 inches out, this needs to go back 12 inches. That's pretty clear. I am not the smartest kid in the class, but I know if you're cutting 12 inches out, this has got to go back 12 inches. And yeah, it lined up perfect. You can see there. I don't have the kits in yet, but you can see it's exactly where it needs to be. Overall, I'd say the kit was a success. Keep your head in a swivel when you're moving that mount. Pay attention. I'm glad we did, because that would suck to do twice. Here's our old pieces taken out. I think it's possible to reuse the kit myself. I'm going to get a piece of brass, put it underneath, run some tacks, and reassemble this thing. I'll probably, that's the piece we cut out of the back, this is a piece we cut out of the middle. I think I'm just going to make myself a plate out of this. Why not? I got it. Or maybe just buy a new plate, I guess. Doesn't really matter. I didn't end up chopping anything off the top or bottom. So just a matter of putting this back with tacks. I know a lot of guys just weld it. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you've got the skills for that, I say go for it. My plan was to do this alone. And I don't know if I got the skills for that, to be quite honest with you. There's a lot to go wrong with fit up. There's a lot to go wrong with welding. I just have a little home hobby welder here in the garage. And I've never welded a frame together before. So I kind of felt like that might have been a little bit out of my league. And I know this kit's simple. I know guys use them. And I know they're out there on the roads. And guys are not having problems with trucks falling apart. So that's why I chose to go that way. Anyway, coming up next, probably this week yet, I'm going to bring my bed in, and you can see I got no room in here. So bringing my bed in means bringing this out, bring my bed in, I'll dismantle the bed. I want to shorten the bed sides. I'll show you how I do that. By the way, I've never done it before. And then I'll also go to Home Depot and pick up some wood. We'll redo the bed wood floor. And we'll get this thing on here. I also want to relocate the fuel tank to the back, so I might do that while it's off. I got it in the basement. I also might redo these springs, those shocks, get all that done before we put the bed on. Anyway, I hear that thing, which makes me mad every time I hear it. We got some work to do. If you stuck around this long, do me a favor, think about subscribing, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, guys.